So this is me. I teach at RCTC. I even have a PhD. Hopefully that gives me some credibility. I won this little baby. But let's talk about my babies. Follow me. Logan and Morgan. Involved in Words Players for the last 4 years. Look how cute they were when they were young. They got along so well. And here's them just 2 years ago, still getting along. Maybe you've seen them at the Renaissance Festival. Here they are in costume. I'm so grateful to Words Players for helping me raise my kids. I think that's probably what gives me the greatest street cred, is when I see my children doing what they love to do. So what's the value of Words Players for children? Why should a parent want their kid to be involved in Words Players? What are they going to get out of it? First of all, problem solving. These are life skills. You know, when I first came to Words Players, and it was a long time ago, it was a neighbor who invited us to see a show that our babysitter was in. I had no idea. I thought, well, it's a musical. They'll be singing, they'll be acting, they'll be dancing. It'll be entertaining, right? And she comped us some tickets. I had no idea all the work that went in behind the scenes. So when a kid joins Words Players, they're creating from the very, very beginning. Everything is about what comes out of their own minds, what they want to do, what they feel, and where they're going to take the show. Problem solving is the first thing they learn. They have to get into groups, they have to work with partners, they have to figure out what's going to make things happen and how they can move a process forward. Whether it's writing song lyrics or coming up with an improv scene or figuring out how to get someone out of a tight spot under a piece of furniture. Everything is about problem solving, which you might think, okay, that's fine, but where does problem solving come into the rest of their lives? Well, as an educator, I'm always looking for students who can problem solve. One thing I've noticed with my own kids is that when we have a difficulty, they don't get anxious like I do. They don't panic. They just stop, hit the pause button, think about what could happen, and then they start to work through it together. They're problem solvers. Collaboration, that's another big thing that I think Words Players has helped my kids with. They get along with other people. They work well together, and most of what they do is going to be in partnership with someone else. So instead of a kid feeling like they're obligated to make it happen all on their own, which is a lot of pressure, they know that they have partners to work with. Collaboration is huge in the real world, right? You almost never have a job where you get to operate in a vacuum. You're always going to have to work with a team. You have to get along with your boss, your supervisor. You might be supervising other people. So being able to cooperate is a life skill. That's something that's going to follow them in their relationships, in their workplace, in their spiritual lives, in their church. It's there. You have to be able to work with others. Presentation skills. Hey, I'm an English teacher. I teach reading, writing, speaking, and listening. And I really care about students being able to speak to audiences, get up and be confident in front of people, and simply be comfortable in their own bodies. And that's another cool thing about Words Players I've noticed with my kids over the years is that they've developed some public speaking skills. They're fine about hopping up on a stage and trying out something new in front of an audience. They are comfortable talking to strangers. They know how to be polite and appropriate. And they're always thinking about the audience. And this is something that not every theater troupe is going to be able to teach. But because of the amount of street theater and improv work they do and bits they do and skits they run at Words Players, what happens with the kids is that they're always watching their audience and watching the people around them and trying to respond to them and react to them. They're anticipating a response and living through that and responding to that. So they're growing their skills in relation to what the audience has given them for feedback. It's that constant give and take, and that's what makes the performance so live. Well, how could that help you? It could help you in a job interview. It certainly helps you when you get in trouble with a teacher in high school and you're trying to figure out, how to get back on the right footing. Public speaking skills go far in life, and I think that any person who shows confidence in front of strangers is already ahead in the game. Finally, this is my favorite, relationship building. Words Players is all about being in relationship with others. It's never about one person gets to be the star or the lead actor. One person gets all the glory. There's no room for big egos in Words Players. In fact, the egos are incredibly small for the talent and the ability that we see in the youth and the troops. Relationship building is a big thing for me because I think that every family can work on its dynamics. And so when I look at my kids and I think about how well they get along with people their own age, children younger than them, teenagers, adults, their their relatives, their grandparents. I keep thinking this is all about relationship building. It's about caring about other people and being able to look into their eyes and step into their space and figure out how to be kind and gracious and caring and compassionate with other people. And that probably is the hugest thing that I think being this theater troupe teaches. And it's the one thing that you can't really put your finger on. You just watch your kid grow up through a year or two of Words Players activities, and you think, oh my gosh, they're gracious, they're mature, they're compassionate people, they're empathetic people. How did that happen? Well, this is how it happened. You keep putting them in positive environments where they can feed off each other. Got a lot of great mentors, a lot of great coaches, and of course David Driscoll and the Magic. He's the Pied Piper, you know. We follow him anywhere. So it's really a magical place for kids to be. And all these little intangible skills add up. And when you send your kid off to college, you know, I teach at the college. These are the kind of kids I want in my classroom. You send them out into the world. Maybe they're going to take a trip overseas. They're going to join the Peace Corps. They're going to take that first internship or that first job. I feel pretty good about Words Players kids. I feel like they have lived enough life and figured out how to be in enough different environments with different types of people that they're going to do pretty well. They're going to be successful in their relationships at home and both at work. And I think that's positive. So I could talk about this all night, but I just want you to know that there's a lot of value, intangible and intrinsic value to having a kid in Words Players. Thank you.